All right, JR here from the OHIO podcast and Ohio State Voice of College Football. Zack here from Big Ten Football Talk. We're talking Duke at Northwestern. Northwestern favored by 2.5 in this one. This game is going to be on Friday night, September 6th at 9 o'clock on FS1. Zack, Northwestern had a little bit of a challenge against Miami of Ohio, but I think that's a better team than some people give them credit for. That's probably the favorite to win the MAC this year. They did run the ball pretty well. Mike Wright was pretty spectacular with his playmaking. I guess as spectacular as you can be for a Northwestern quarterback. David Braun was a very good coach last year. We're going to see if he can do that again this year. What's your thoughts going into this Duke at Northwestern game?
I think it's such, talking about Miami of Ohio, Northwestern was only a 3-point favorite with Miami of Ohio, and they're a 2.5-point favorite with Duke, which tells you Vegas does not see a big difference between Duke and Miami. I might actually argue Miami's better than Duke.
Oh,
Like I think I have multiple concerns. One is that Duke really struggled to run the ball against Elon. And it's Elon. Malik Murphy was okay. He did have an interception, but he threw for a lot of yards. But I'm concerned if you can't run the ball on Elon. I think Northwestern's defense is gonna shut down Duke's running game. I think Xander Mueller is one of the more underrated linebackers in the country. I think that defensive line is a little underrated. Mike Wright. I think the way that Northwestern loses this game is if Mike Wright does what he did against Miami, which is he fumbled twice. I think if he plays a clean game, I think he's able to throw enough and run that I think it really does give Northwestern the edge, especially in that makeshift stadium by the lake. I really
which
like
by the way looked awesome.
it. Did it like I know we clowned him for it, but like Westlot Pirates, the Northwestern podcast, they're all about it. And they were
Yeah.
live tweeting from it, and they were like, "This is amazing."
I thought it was cool. I thought it was kind of throwback college football, right? I mean, like college football, you have the big stadiums and everything now, but now you literally had people lined up on the side to watch the game, and I was like, man, this kind of just takes you back a little bit. Anyway, I'm not trying to say I want that stadium for my team. I'm just saying, like,
No,
I kind of enjoyed it watching it for the first time.
yeah, well, and if you talk to Northwestern fans, for them it actually makes a lot of sense because their fan base isn't like in Ohio State, where Ryan Field used to get just like pillaged by visiting fans. That's not going to happen with the stadium.
Hmm.
So like it's all Northwestern fans, which gives for the first time maybe ever a home field advantage. And so I I like everything about this makes me like Northwestern in this game. I think the fact that there's no Mike Elko, there's no Riley Leonard, I think everything favors Northwestern. I've got them by a touchdown.
Interesting. Brian Myers says they basically give you 3 points for a home game, so this is essentially a
It's
pick 'em.
true.
I agree, and I am leaning Northwestern as well in this one. I do think that Duke has the more prolific passing attack with the Texas transfer Malik Murphy starting there. I do think he struggled in a number of areas against Elon, which you don't really like to see, but at the same time, it is his first start, so you kind of have to give him some leeway there. But I think Mike Wright has better playmaking ability. He is the leading rusher coming out of that first game for Northwestern against Miami of Ohio. Duke's leading rusher is Jaquez Moore, who had 24 yards. Your leading rusher against Elon had 24 yards. Yikes. I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I think the running ability for Northwestern is going to allow them to control the clock. I think that their defense is going to be able to stop the Duke running game. And I think Malik Murphy, who threw an interception against Elon, is probably going to put the ball in harm's way. It's just going to be if Northwestern can capitalize on
Yep.
that or not. I think that Mike Wright is going to run things well. I think he's experienced. He's been at Vanderbilt. He's been at Mississippi State. He's played in a ton of different places And I believe in Mike Wright, and most of all, I believe in David Braun. I think David Braun is a good coach. I think that he's going to put this game together. I'm not trying to say anything against Manny Diaz. We got Billy here feeling sorry for Manny Diaz, saying poor Manny Diaz. I'm not saying anything bad about Manny Diaz. I think Manny Diaz is going to do a good job at Duke. It's his first season, and I don't think that he's going to be able to put it together well enough to take down Northwestern here.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with everything you said.
Do you have a score prediction here for this one?
I'm trying to remember what I said. I recorded my predictions earlier today. I think I
Oh,
said 20-13, somewhere in
okay.
that range.
Gotcha. I said 17-14, so we're kind of
We're pretty
similar there.
close. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
pretty
I
close.
think it'll be a close game, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think Northwestern will take it, and I think that the experience of David Braun, not just the experience of coaching, because Manny Diaz actually has more years of experience, but the experience with his team is kind of what I
Mhm.
mean.